Welcome everybody to WWE Figure Universe Episode 1, the premiere, the debut episode of Raw. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we start, make sure you follow me on all my socials, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you don't know what this is, go watch the first video where I explain everything and who my current champions are. Go ahead and get to the kickoff of Raw. The show kicks off with our general manager, Mr. John Laurinaitis, welcoming everybody and hoping everyone's going to have a good time and that he wants to bring out our undisputed champion, Mr. John Cena. After Cena enters, John Laurinaitis tells him how thankful he is for Cena to be back here in WWE and how he can't wait for the show to begin with him as the main guy. And then he says one more interesting thing. He informs the champ that he's already picked out a number one contender for him at our first PLE in 3 weeks, Armageddon, and that man is none other than Gunther. And there he is, the number one contender, according to John Laurinaitis, for our Undisputed Championship. And as Gunther makes his way to the ring, John Laurinaitis adds another twist to it. John Laurinaitis informs both men that tonight Gunther will be the picking Mr. John Cena's opponent for the main event of Raw, as next week John Cena will then have the privilege of picking Gunther's opponent. Gunther, of course, smiles at John Cena and just walks out of the ring. He leaves with John Cena sitting there wondering who his opponent's going to be, and John Laurinaitis ends it with, I hope everyone has a good time with the show. And moving on to the next segment, who will John Cena's opponent be? Stay tuned. What happens next? Well, the music of our World Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens hits, and he's walking down to the ring in a suit and tie, because as our commentators say, we are kicking off Raw with a fatal 4-way elimination number one contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it consists of Randy Orton, who is indeed a heel in my universe, Shawn Michaels, who is a face, Drew McIntyre, who is a heel, and Mr. Main Event Jey Uso, who is a face. And it is an elimination match. And the first man who is eliminated in this match is shockingly Mr. Randy Orton, the Viper, who Jey Uso is able to counter his RKO into a roll-up pin. He is able to eliminate Mr. Randy Orton. This matchup continues for a little bit until, of course, Mr. Randy Orton is not happy. It is a no disqualification match. So he comes back in, RKOs Jey Uso, and Drew McIntyre, being the guy he is, then pins him, and Mr. Jey Uso is eliminated. What could that mean for Randy Orton and Jey Uso? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out. Which means the final two is Shawn Michaels and Drew McIntyre. Shawn Michaels is able to move out of the way of a Claymore kick and then successfully perform a sweet chin music to pin Drew McIntyre 1, 2, 3, which means our boy Shawn Michaels is the number one contender for Kevin Owens' World Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Owens does not attack Shawn Michaels after the match. He simply gets in the ring and stares at Shawn Michaels, and they have a few choice words. This is the first official match set for our first PLE, Armageddon, which will be 3 episodes away, 2 episodes away, whatever. Our cameras then go to Backstage, where we see our general manager, John Laurinaitis, just talking in his backstage office on the phone. And then our boy, the one who just kind of got screwed out of his match, Main Event Jey Uso, comes in. And he's not happy. He's not a happy man. He got cost his match, an opportunity at Kevin Owens because Randy Orton is a sore loser. And he asked Mr. John Laurinaitis for a match against Randy Orton next week. And John Laurinaitis happily agrees. Our first match set for next week's episode, Jey Uso versus Randy Orton. Our next match is set for one fall, and the first man out is our none other than the Architect, Mr. Seth Rollins, and his opponent tonight is none other than Mike the Miz Mizanin, or however the hell you say his name. And honestly, this matchup's a quick 2-3 minute match. Seth Rollins kills the Miz, and Seth Rollins, after the match, is very upset as he does not look like he knows what to do. He seems very distraught. He doesn't know what his direction is. He doesn't know what's next for Seth Rollins. What is going to happen next? He's not in any major storyline. He's not going after any championships. He just doesn't have it all figured out. He just destroyed The Miz, a former champion. And yeah, he leaves the ring very unknowing of what's next in his future until our next segment. Up next, we have a promo hype package for our tag team champions, the American Alpha, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, with it being announced that next week there will be a 4 tag team match, a fatal 4-way tag match for those tag team titles. Teams will be announced next week to kick off the show. And our next match is Mr. LA Knight, versus our Intercontinental Champion, Big Bronson Reed. And with all due respect to Mr. LA Knight, Bronson Reed absolutely destroys LA Knight. And he kind of does what he does what he did to Seth Rollins on Raw and Braun Strowman. He fucking does tsunami after tsunami, and he's killing LA Knight. LA Knight's coughing up blood just like Seth Rollins did on the real WWE, until none other than our boy Big E returns from neck injury to confront Bronson Reed and battle him out of the ring until Bronson Reed is running away. Not really running away, he's kind of like staring at Big E outside of the ring, as Big E comes to the aid of LA Knight because, he's getting murdered in there. Why the hell would Big E stand aside and let that happen? And we'll see what happens next between Bronson and Big E, but I don't think Big Bronson Reed's too happy. We cut to a backstage segment with our United States Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and he's saying he's going to come out to address the WWE Universe and what's next for him, and he's excited, and he can't wait to come out there later tonight. And he says to the crowd, what do you guys want to talk about? He does that stupid ass thing he does. But we will see Cody Rhodes later tonight addressing WWE Universe. Our next match is our North American Champion, Sami Zayn, taking on Ricochet in what was a 10-minute classic, a barn burner of a match, with Sami Zayn ultimately picking up the win against Ricochet. They shake hands. Ricochet's a professional, Sami Zayn a professional, and you think everything's good until the lights go out. And they come on to see Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era in the ring surrounding Sami Zayn, who just had a great match against Ricochet. And Undisputed Era completely bum rushed the guy, and Sami Zayn's beaten to a pulp, and Adam Cole is then sitting there, and he picks up the North American Championship, and he does the little Adam Cole boom thing, and it goes to commercial. What's next? We'll find out next week. We cut once again to backstage, John Laurinaitis' office, where he informs us that LA Knight has been diagnosed and he has suffered some broken ribs at the hand of Bronson Reed and will be out indefinitely. How long, we do not know, but unfortunately LA Knight has been taken out. But he also announces that next week it will be Big E taking on Bronson Reed in a one-on-one match. And if Big E wins, he will become #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Next up on Raw, Logan Paul is coming down to the ring, but he's not in his wrestling gear. Here he's in his normal promo attire. Look at this amazing custom I made, I know. He is out here to host an episode of Impulsive Live, basically just to talk shit and say how he's better than everybody and how he's quote-unquote the best in the world. That is until the man who goes by the best in the world is sick of hearing him talk, and Mr. CM Punk comes down to the ring to confront Mr. Logan Paul. And I feel like we all know how this is going to end. CM Punk basically bitch slaps Logan Paul. Logan Paul runs away, and CM Punk says, "I thought you were the best in the world." And Logan Paul cowards away like normal. And this could be leading to a match, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens. We cut to backstage, and it is finally time for our America champion, United States champion, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, to come out to the ring to address the universe. And we get the long shot of him walking in the back. He's hyping up the crowd. He's ready, until all of a sudden, the beast himself, Braun Breaker, just comes through and destroys Cody Rhodes and just beats the shit out of him. And when I say beat the shit out of him, I mean he beats the living shit out of him. He brings him out to the ramp, he spears him, he throws him into the ring steps, puts him through the barricade, puts him to the commentator's table. He just absolutely kills him until he puts him on the ring steps and basically curb stomps him on the ring steps, holds up the title. And I'm pretty scared for Mr. Cody Rhodes because Braun Breaker, you don't fuck with Braun Breaker. We then cut to the Judgment Day in my universe, consisting of the Leader Edge, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Brody King. They basically cut a promo saying how the whole roster better be on the lookout. They better be watching their back, because Judgment Day is here, and they're looking for trouble. They're looking for gold, and we'll see what comes of this, I don't know. I really like how this group is. I like my members. I feel like it's going to be a very dominant force here in the WWE figure universe, but we'll just have to see what happens. It is now main event time. The main event. It is time, and hell, am I hyped up for you guys to see what happens here. Of course, as we know, Mr. John Cena is in the main event, but Gunther was told by Mr. Laurinaitis that tonight he gets to decide who John Cena faces, and next week John Cena gets to decide who Gunther faces. And John Cena comes out to the ring, he does the whole shebang, throws the hat, throws the shirt. He's ready to be in the main event to fight on the debut episode of Raw, until Gunther's music hits and you see Gunther's face, his big fat fucking face on the screen, and he's just laughing and he says, "John, I hope you're ready for this, because this is a man who's beaten you before." And the music hits. It is the phenomenal one, Mr. AJ Styles. He is a heel at this point, so it is AJ Styles versus John Cena in the main event of the first episode of Raw in the WWE figure universe. Now, of course, as you expect, these two put on a hell of a match. Hell, some might even say 5 stars. They go for 15 to 20 minutes with John Cena picking up the win, god damn it, against AJ Styles. And just when you think something is going to happen or you think it's over, Gunther's music hits once again. But he does not rush the stage. He does not come to the ring even. He simply just stands on the stage and he looks at Mr. Cena. He just looks at him, and John Cena looks back at him. And that's the end of the show. That is how the first episode of Raw is ending. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know down below if you made it this far. Make sure you follow me on all my socials again. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Raw in the WWE Figure Universe.